What's up, everybody? This is the What the World Needs podcast. My name is Tori Franco. I am the founder of this motherfucking shit. And I'm coming to you today to discuss, I guess, in further my depression and how I got over it. I feel like in the last podcast, I kind of went over how I got to where I am today as far as musically and influentially, if is that a word? I guess that's a word. But emotionally, I don't really feel like I touched on everything. I watched the podcast back and I was like, wait, I should have said that and I should have said that. So I sat back and I took a couple of notes, and I wanted to kind of just touch on how I combated just depression by just eating healthier. Honestly, that was definitely something that helped, and also just obviously thinking more positively. So last year, again around this time, I pretty much wanted to die. Like, that's where the fuck I was at. I really just had no purpose in life, or at least I felt like I didn't. And I know a lot of people, a lot of my YouTube followers. If you follow my main channel, it's Tori Franco. I do a lot of reactions, but I'm a singer. I do covers, and I try to be inspirational and just, express my story, because I feel like my story can resonate with a bunch of people. I know a lot of you guys from there are going through a lot of shit, whether it's losing a family member, a breakup, just you're not in the right space, you're not in the right place, you're not where you feel you should be, whether that be geographically or mentally, physically, whatever it is. And I feel like while I'm not where I should be, we're human. We all have room to improve. So while I feel like I'm not where I should be, I definitely feel like this last year and a half has given me a lot of wisdom to speak on the subject. And I think I have a lot of experience with being fucking depressed that I can definitely speak on the whole entire subject. So, I want to tell the story of when I left my house without, I still live with my parents. I still live with my mother. My parents are divorced. I left my house without telling anybody where I was going. And I drove 3 hours away, Connecticut. I live in New York. I drove 3 hours away by myself, at the worst part of my depression, finding out some stuff that just didn't really help with where I was already at. And I had just found myself in this dark place, and I wanted to die. I didn't want to live. I didn't see a reason in living. The pain was so unbearable at that point, that I felt like it would be easier if I just died. But I'm honestly, thankfully, too much of a fucking vagina to kill myself. And I'm too much of a go with the flow person to forcefully kill myself, as much as that's not funny. I had every intention when I had gotten to this hotel room. I had every intention on just drinking myself into a stupor and leaving it up to the universe, leaving it up to God, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever your higher power is. We'll totally get into that. I just need I need more than one person to get into that. I can't just talk about that by myself. Anyway, um, you know, if I had thrown up in my sleep, then that was just fate. Luckily, I had enough sense to not take a sip of alcohol. I just kind of ate my feelings. Thankfully, I'm Italian. We do that. So I kind of just ate my feelings, turned my camera on, and just cried in front of my camera and had a mental fucking breakdown in front of my camera. And I always find, especially since I've become a YouTuber and built this following that I have on YouTube, on my main channel, I have this innate yearning inside of me to raise awareness for serious issues. One of those issues being mental health, especially because that's something that I've always struggled with my entire life. Whether it was because I was bullied in school or a fucking hormonal imbalance, whatever it was, I always struggled with depression. And thankfully, again, the universe comes full circle because it's the entire reason why I started writing in the first place. And writing is the entire reason why I started singing my poems back. And like, it just all kind of just fell into place. So I wouldn't be a songwriter if I hadn't struggled with depression. If I didn't struggle with depression, I wouldn't have my album Purgatory, which you can find on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. I wouldn't have that album if it wasn't for depression, you know? So, I mean, it's a gift and a curse, but I think I can definitely speak on it and say that I'm thankful that I had sense enough, I guess experience enough with my depression to know that even though at that very point I irrationally felt like it would never end, I irrationally felt like the darkness was going to consume me, like it was going to take over my entire being and never ever lift its fucking grasp from me. But I had somewhere in my brain and my wiring, I had sense enough. There was a logical part of my brain that said, no, you fucking idiot. You've been through this before. This is going to end. It's not going to last. It will get better, as cliche as that fucking sounds. So I decided not to drink alcohol and just kind of turn my camera on and have a mental breakdown on camera. And I posted this video on YouTube of me like really losing my fucking marbles. And a couple of my subscribers saw it. Not a lot. A few subscribers saw it. And I quickly took it down. Maybe after like a day, not even. But I think what helps with the depression, at least for me, what helped for me, it was YouTube and knowing that I had this following to kind of not fall back on, but I had this following to protect in a way, you know, people who were following me, what type of influence or influencer would I be if I just allowed myself to submit to the darkness? And again, that full circle, like not only that, but they kind of helped me out of the darkness because I started noticing, you know, wow, even in my deepest depression, these people love me. You know, I'm either hiding it really fucking well or showing my true colors are still showing through that depression. And whatever it was, the momentum continued and still hasn't stopped, you know? So I feel like I feel like YouTube was definitely something that helped me. And again, I can only sit here and talk about my own experiences and hope that my experiences help somebody else. This podcast was not started. I have nothing to fucking teach. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people are on podcasts to try and like teach business tactics and fucking, there obviously are entertainment podcasts. Joe Rogan Experience. Hello. That's a fucking good podcast. But I'm not on here for any other reason other than to just tell my fucking story and keep it moving. And hope that my story is inspirational and hope that I'm saying something fucking of value to somebody, even if one person out there hears what I'm saying and says, "Wow, I'm not the only one," you know? Um I want to be raw, I want to be relatable, and I think again that all goes back to, you know, March of 2017, which isn't even a fucking full year ago. Um me realizing I had so much to live for, so much more than I was willing to give myself, I guess, credit for, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Um, so there was that, and my music is always, from the time I was 13 years old. And if you're hearing that in the background, those that's proof that people love me. Those are my YouTube followers messaging me on Facebook. And that's another thing. My relation, not just the fact that I had a fucking bunch of followers that, subscribed to me on YouTube and for some reason liked my personality, liked whatever the fuck they were seeing. That wasn't it. It was the connections I was making. I don't ignore people who reach out to me because we're all human. You know what I mean? We're all human beings. And I know I've reached out to some of my favorite YouTubers. I mean, some of my favorite YouTubers have millions of subscribers and probably get fucking messages every 30 milliseconds. They probably get like 1,000 messages. So granted, when I've reached out to people, I've gotten no response 9 out of 10 times, 9.9 out of 10 times. And here I'm just a small channel, like 15,000 subscribers. That's not nothing. It's an accomplishment and I'm so proud of it, but it's nothing to break the bank about. So I understand. So I still reach out to anybody who reaches out to me. And even if I can't get back to them right away, I make sure that I'm somehow expressing to them my gratitude. And that connection that I have with my followers, with my family, that's what I call them, my Filipino family, my family, who whether you're Filipino or not, that's unique, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a unique thing if you're an influencer to be connected to your fan base. But I think that connection has helped me genuinely, because in me letting somebody else out there know that they're not alone in their struggle, they're also letting me know that I'm not alone in mine. Here I am sitting in front of a camera making videos about, my worst state of being, and people are responding like, "Hey, I'm right there with you." And actually, some people's situations were a lot worse. There are people, especially the Filipino culture, the women, a lot of them are nurses and home aides and things like that. And they're going off to other countries that don't really treat women too well, if I'm being quite frank. They're leaving their families to go make a living and to go do all of that. And here I am in the middle of New York, one of the most expensive places to live. A spoiled Long Island kid trying to make it as a musician, still living home with my mother, still have my family, still, have a support system, growing my outside support system, and I'm like depressed, you know? And that didn't snap me out of my depression. You know what I mean? Depression isn't just a state of being. It's 12 o'clock. That's my Casio watch, if you're hearing that. This is my other microphone. This microphone that I'm using right now actually is the microphone that I record all of my songs on. So it picks up a lot of, it's a condenser mic, so it picks up a lot of background noise, so my bad. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, depression isn't, obviously, you can't snap yourself out of a depression. It's chemical, and that's definitely, I'm heading there. By the way, I ramble, which is the exact reason why I need a fucking podcast, because I ramble. I'm very long-winded. It's biological too, depression. So it wasn't like I came to this realization and woke up and I was fucking out of my depression. I don't think I'm still fully out of my depression. There are days where I've zero motivation to do anything and get out of bed, and my anxiety is flared the fuck up. And then there are days where I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's attack the day, So it'll always be a battle. But I do feel like I'm not numbering this shit. Again, maybe I should script these videos because there would be a little bit more organization going on, but fuck it. This is only episode 3. I'll learn as I go. What was it? YouTube music. The third thing that helped me in my depression was eating healthier. And it sounds weird because I didn't think the two correlated. I didn't think the two went together. But my anxiety in and of itself has drastically decreased. Again, I still get anxiety. I haven't cured myself of anything. Like, I'm not a fucking wizard, and I understand that life happens, but my anxiety has drastically subsided just from eating cleaner, not eating fatty bullshit food. I've lost 21 pounds, and I wasn't doing any crazy fucking workout regimens. I was literally riding a bike in the summer and eating healthy. That was it. Really. I don't drink a lot of alcohol anymore. I still do my thing sometimes, but I'm trying to just get rid of that completely. But yeah, I was just, eating more fiber, eating more fruits and vegetables, less carbs, definitely less fried food. That shit fucked me up. I could feel, like, literally feel, like, I don't know, it's so weird. It's almost as if, like, I could feel the anxiety coming on when I would eat, like, extra salty, extra fried shit. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I really don't. But I would feel it. And now that I haven't done that, it would make me dizzy. Like, almost as if I was gonna fucking pass out. Or have a seizure. Like, or have a stroke. I don't have that anymore. I still have a ways to go as far as being healthier, and I could definitely be healthier. But in losing 21 pounds, again, slowly over time. I started this diet, if that's what you want to call it. I call it a lifestyle change. I started the lifestyle change in July. Was it July? No, May. June, July, August, September, October, November. Oh, all right. So yeah, 6 months. It's been 6 months and I've lost 21 pounds. So I've lost 21 pounds in 6 months, which is, again, nothing to fucking call home about. It's not, I lost 100 pounds on the Subway diet. Like, no, I feel good. I know I could feel better. I know I could look better. But I'm happy with where I'm at. And that's not even like a weight thing. That's again, mental health thing. And mind you, I have not been on one antidepressant. I haven't taken it. I was prescribed. I was, in the beginning of my depression, I was going to doctors once a month. Also with a therapist. Well, I had a couple of therapists. I had to shop around because the 2 therapists that I went to before the one that I'm seeing now were fucking assholes. And I'll totally do another podcast on that. Oh, I have such good stories about these bitches too. Anyway, so on top of seeing therapists weekly, once a week, I was seeing a regular doctor monthly, once a month. And literally all the doctors were doing was prescribing me different shit. Oh, you can't sleep? Here's Xanax. Oh, you can't sleep and you don't want to take Xanax? Here's an antihistamine that's going to knock you out, kind of like Benadryl, and make you a zombie. And also take your antidepressants, which is also on top of you being a zombie, is going to make you a fucking zombie. So I'm like doubly a zombie. A zombie. So I'm not anti-medication when it's needed, but I am anti-medication for bullshit. Like, this is the same doctor who years prior I came in because I was crying over like a dumb fucking breakup, like a bullshit breakup. And he saw that I was crying and he was like, oh, are you sad? And I was like, yeah, I'm going through a breakup. Here's an antidepressant. Like, without even assessing anything, he just, oh, you're sad? Here's antidepressant. So to me, this is like the bottom line with doctors a lot of the time. And I'm not trying to make this about that, but what I'm trying to say is I was in a severe depression, severe anxiety, debilitating. When I say debilitating, I mean like didn't leave the house, anxiety and depression, and didn't get out of bed, depression, right? I was able to turn that around physically by literally, like, I alleviated my physical symptoms by just eating healthier. Literally, just eating healthier, making better choices for my body. And again, I'm not out of the woods, but I really am, like, if I could put a percentage on it, I'm about 80% there. Like 80% as far as, again, physically there. I don't feel the physical symptoms anymore. And I did, like, bad. Like pain. Like, when I tell you pain, daily pain, I still feel the pain. Jaw pain, and I guess from clenching, and headaches, and tension headaches, and back aches and neck aches, that type of pain, body aches. It all, again, everything fucking comes full circle. This should be the full circle podcast, because literally everything fucking comes full circle. We think our body and minds aren't connected. No, motherfucker. They're all connected. And if you don't treat your mind right, your body's not going to be right, and vice versa. If you don't treat your body right, your mind's not going to be right. You can't be physically healthy, but like not feeding your mental, if that makes sense. Everything has to be balanced and in harmony. That's the whole thing. So I'm on that road to finding the balance and the harmony. Maybe this podcast will help that for all the 2.5 listeners listening right now. For this podcast, I have so much more that I want to do. I want to get some of my interesting friends on here to give their opinions on life and their opinions on everything. We're going to get deep. We're going to get fucking controversial. I don't give a fuck. I say the F-bomb a lot, so excuse me. I'm sorry if you don't like that. But yeah, that's at least for me what helped me to feel better from my depression, you know. And this was a depression that it reared its ugly head way before last year. You know, I was depressed probably for 2 years straight before I really had that crash. Like, I was a functioning depressed person, going to work 9 to 5, and then there was that one thing that pushed me off the fucking edge. And once I was off the edge, there was no coming back. And, well, it felt like there was no coming back. But living your purpose, that's it. Whatever your purpose is. For me, it's speaking and connecting with people, singing, doing my music. That's where YouTube and podcasting and my album come into play. That's why it helped me to come out of my depression a little bit, because when you're doing what you want to do in life and you're living your purpose, you're on your purpose path, you're fucking, first of all, once you get on that path, you feel it. You just feel like, holy shit, I'm headed toward the Thunderdome. Is that the correct terminology? I don't know. Like, that's what you feel like. And that's where I'm at right now, you know? And you could literally have no money whatsoever, but be living your purpose and not be getting any money from that purpose, but still be extremely happy. It's just a lot. This whole situation has just put a lot of things into perspective for me. And I kind of just wanted to come on here and talk about that. Talk about, again, depression, anxiety, and what helped me get out of it, and what helped me overcome it. And I think these things will always help me overcome it, you know? Again, I am not completely out of the woods. There's just a couple more things that need to happen in my life that I need to do or that need to be done before I can literally be like liberated and lifted. And even then, when you struggle with depression, it's always an uphill battle. But why not feel better? If you can feel better, why the fuck not do it? Like, that's like literally somebody telling somebody with a broken leg, like, I can't heal your broken leg tomorrow, but I can alleviate the pain from that broken leg significantly. Do you think that person would be like, no, I want to sit here and wallow in my fucking horrible broken leg pain? Like, don't fix it. No, obviously, no. You know, you may have to go to physical therapy and work on it, but eventually you're going to feel better. And in the meantime, if there's some solutions that can help in the meantime to make you feel better, then why the fuck not? Why not do it? I hope that's a good analogy. I don't know. I just thought of that off the top of my head. Anyway, this is a podcast about depression. Another one. I'm going to be a little bit more lighthearted. I promise. I really want to know, what the fuck do you guys want to hear from me? What do you guys want me to talk about. I want to have, for those of you who don't know, my best friend, Bobby Gregory, Bobby Genesis. He's an engineer for Team Backpack. He's my audio engineer. He's just an incredible human being. And he's probably one of the most deep, interesting people that I know. One of them. I want to have him on the podcast, and I want to get his opinions on life, because we're just always having these deep, crazy conversations. So I figure, why not put a microphone in front of our faces and do the shit and record it and post an episode about it. So look out for that. That should be coming soon, hopefully. And thank you guys for listening to me rant. I'm an amateur podcaster, so bear the fuck with me. I'm going with emotions right now. I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm trying to do it as I go along. So yeah, I'm not a very organized human being, so bear with that. But yeah, I hope everybody is having a wonderful week. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening. If you listen to this whole thing, you're fucking amazing. And the secret word is fartfignugan. If you can tell me the secret word, that lets me know that you listen to this whole podcast, and then you're just fucking awesome. And maybe I'll give you something. I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway, I love you guys, and have a wonderful week. Peace out.